Hello Australia, welcome to another episode of The Couch, 7:35, only a few more shows left for the year. On the show today, she's back from the USA. She came to us when she was about 12 or 13 years old. She's a little bit older than that now. She's been away for around 10 years off The Couch actually, but today she's performing her brand new songs. Her name is Kristen Platty. I want you to remember that name. There she is there. She's live in the studio and we're looking forward to meeting her again and having her brand new songs on the show. We're also talking to Dee Stepanovsky. Now, she runs the Street Chaplains here in Perth. We'll talk to her about the great work they do. Talking entertainment with Alexander Sacosta. Talking employment law with Joe Alovic. And SpongeBob the Musical's happening here in Perth. We've got a couple of the cast members coming in to perform. And we're also talking to the director, Jane Anderson, and the guy playing Bob as well, SpongeBob. So a big show, I think. Hope you can stick around. And I forgot to say, Belinda Cipriano's back from Portugal, and she's got What's on Perth. Big Couch, 7:35, starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello Australia, welcome to a very big episode of The Couch. We're going to get straight into it today because Kristen Platty is back in Australia. She's been away. Let me introduce her. Welcome to The Couch.
Thank you for having me.
Look, I know you're here only for a very short time, but a couple of weeks?
Yeah, just
Now,
a few.
Just in very quick form, 30 seconds, tell me the last 10 years, what have you done?
I
point
moved
form.
to New York. I initially moved for Broadway, but decided to start writing my own stuff. And then in 2018, released my debut album, all written, co-written and written by me. And then 2020 released a song, 2021 released a song, and now this year I have 3 singles coming out.
Look, you have had an amazing career, I have to say, because I remember having you on our show from the age of about 12, 13. You used to sing our Christmas songs. You used to come in and sing your own songs, covers. And you left Australia, went over to America to do your Broadway. And you ended up being an amazing singer. You got married over there. You've got an amazing life over there. Is it a great life for those people that look up to you, that are watching you now, Australians? What are the benefits of moving to America?
Like you said, I mean, I moved for Broadway and, for musical theatre, and that's kind of where I had wanted to go, and, you know, there's nowhere better than New York for that. But, Fred, fun fact, I can't really dance. So Broadway perhaps was not going to be the right route for me. No, I just decided it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I started writing my own music.
It's all your own music too. The stuff, all the original, and the songs we're going to hear today, they're pretty much your
so
music.
everything that I've released, I've either 100% written or co-written with one other person, which I'm really proud of. It's, you know, a couple of years ago, had you told me, I don't know if I would have.
How hard is it to be an Australian in America and be a music artist?
It's honestly not too bad, actually. Americans really love Australians, and there's a lot of us over there. There's a lot of Australian coffee shops, a lot of Australian people that I run into, people in the arts, things like that. It's hard to get, like, the visas and, you know, to find a job and to be able to financially support yourself.
Of it, yep.
But no, they really do love Australians.
So tell me now, you've come back to Perth to see your family, but you've just released a brand new song called Break My Heart Again. What was the background to that song?
Honestly, I went down to Virginia to work with someone that I'd written a couple of songs on my album with. His name's Austin Bello. And we just kind of, I was sitting there on the couch and I said, I would like to do something about, like, the feeling of heartbreak, but wanting to do it again because the feeling of love was so special or so powerful. And so we kind of just went from there and delved into the very 80s kind of pop vibe and went from there. It's got that
feel about it, hasn't it? It's got an amazing track.
Thank you.
Who puts all that together? Obviously you got a team back in the US.
No, it was just me and Austin in a little studio in Virginia. I go down there for 5 days. We write 3 songs in the week. So 1.5 days on one song. We write, record, finish it.
So you work
and
pretty
move on to
hard
the
on
next
your
one.
music, don't you? It's
Yeah.
full-time
Yeah.
work. So the song Break My Heart Again, just tell the people at home, what's the meaning of the song? What happens in the song?
Well, like I said, it's really about, feeling the heartbreak of a relationship being over,
Yep.
but wanting to experience the whole thing, highs and lows all over again, because being in love with that person was so special that you would just let them, do it all over again.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think we're lucky enough today, folks, we're going to have your brand new song, which you're just about to release. And that one there's called Take Your Love. Tell me
Yes.
about that one.
That one comes out on September 30th. And it is a song basically just about, you've met someone and you kind of run in the same friendship circles and you kind of, catch each other's eye and you see each other. It's like, should we be more than friends? Should we kind of see where this goes? And that's what it's about. It's kind of exploring that feeling of like a crush.
Now, people listening to you today are going to love your songs, but where can they get them from?
They are available on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube, if you so please. I think they're on Pandora. Anywhere that you'll be able to listen to music, you'll be able to listen to the songs.
And you've got a website as well if people want to follow you and maybe link to all your music?
Yeah,
What's that?
if you go to www.kristenplati.com, you'll find my all of my music, links to everywhere, my Instagram, my Facebook, TikTok if you're so inclined to TikTok. Everything's at the website.
Look, it's a pleasure to have you back here, and you've done really well as a music artist, and you've done it without The Voice or Australia's Got No Talent and all those shows. Look, I'm so dead against all those shows. You don't need it. You've done it the other way. You've worked hard. You've moved away from home. It's a hard job moving away from family, and you've done really, really well.
Thank you.
I love the two songs. I think Australia's going to love your two songs. Just quickly before we go, because I know you want to go and perform for us, you're also an advocate for ladies' images as well.
Yes.
That is a fantastic thing that you've always done for the last, I've followed you on Instagram for years. How does that work? How do you get into that?
I started modelling about 7-ish years ago, having grown up with extreme body image issues, always kind of hating my body and hating how I looked. When I was approached by an agency, I was a little hesitant, but kind of started working with them. And as I've grown up, I've kind of learned to just embrace
Who you are.
who I am and what my body is. And it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to like it, but also not everyone has the same
But
body
isn't
type.
it about loving who you are and
It
loving
is.
your body? And I can talk as well, because it's all about us. It's about
Right.
personality, and you've got to be happy. You
Right.
are such an inspiration, not just for your music, but also for other women out there that get bullied, harassed, and victimised, and they look to you for inspiration. I know you've had this advocacy role for many, many years, and I congratulate you.
Thank you.
Is there anything we forgot? Do you want to thank anybody while you're here?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go home and get in trouble, Fred, do I? So I should probably thank my parents.
They have supported you from day
they
one.
have. All jokes aside, they've been two of the most supportive people in my life. They just allowed me to go head first.
And I think it's
into it.
amazing that your mum hasn't picked up that you've got that spare credit card. And
Yeah,
she keeps
no,
wondering, your dad keeps saying, what's that extra expense?
No, and here I am just living the lavish lifestyle, trips everywhere. Just thanks, Mum, thanks, Dad.
Do you get to see a lot of America? I mean, I know we've only got about a minute to go.
Honestly, I've travelled a little bit, but not so much. It's hard when you're over there to not be working to kind of keep pushing what you want to be there for.
And where are you based in America?
In New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a great coffee shop called Two Hands, which is an Australian
Yeah,
run.
it's an Australian-run coffee shop. There's a few of them now, actually.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad that you're back. We're so glad
Thank
that you're going
you.
to perform for us. I'm going to let you go over to centre
Perfect.
stage. Kristen's going to perform her brand new song. Thank you, Kristen. Just walk in front of the camera. People didn't see me for a bit there, but that's okay. She's going to perform live for us right now. The song's called Break My Heart Again, and then at the end of the show, she'll come in and perform Take Your Love. Here she is, Kristen.
Sit alone in my bed, check my phone again, you left me on red. Scroll through everything, thought I heard it ring, but it was in my head. Why must I always get so stuck on needing you, seeing you, just being with you, baby? Shot through every emotion, and still I knew I'd always let you break my heart again, put myself through all the pain. You know it, baby, never find love if you do it like that. Baby, break my not the same. You never find love if you do it like everything you want, anything you need. Every lie you say sounds sweeter said to me, baby. When you break my heart again, let me be the one to blame. And I tell myself, you never find love if you do it like startled awaken, it's 4 in the morning. Radio silence, I still ain't heard nothing. 3 days ago when you told me, you called me, you said that I got you. Here I am lonely, all of my friends, well you know that they want me. Told me I'm crazy for taking your calls and you walk away, I come back crawling. I'll never leave you because I adore you. I adore ya, I'll never leave you because I adore ya. You can break my heart again, put myself through all the pain. You know it, babe, you never find love if you do it like that. Baby, break my heart again, play it out to the bitter end. And it's not the same, you never find love if you do it like everything you want, anything you need. Every lie you say sounds sweeter said to me, baby. When you break my heart again, let me be the one to blame. And I tell myself, you never find love if you do it like try to act cool, but I get so attached. Gave you my heart, but you gave it right back. Never find love if you do it like that. Do it like, do it like. Try to act cool, but I get so attached. Gave you my heart, but you gave it right back. Never find love if you do it like that. Do it like, do it like that. You never find love if you do it like everything you want, anything you need. Every lie you say sounds sweeter said to me, baby. When you break my heart again, let me be the one to blame. I tell myself, you never find love if you do it like try to act cool, but I get so attached. Gave you my heart, but you gave it right back. Never find love if you do it like that. Do it like that. Do it like that.
You break my heart again, break my heart again. That is, of course, Kristen Platty. I taught her everything she knows. No, not really. Kristen just does. Oh, no, yeah, okay, Kristen, I won't say that again. She'll be back at the end of the show with a brand new song. If you love that song, get it on Spotify, but wait around to the end of the show. That's how we do it. We keep you waiting right to the end. We want you to watch. But right now, we're going to talk about street chaplains. They do an amazing job. Dee is back in the house, and with her is our very own chaplain on the couch, Nisha.
Thank you so much, Fred. And it is a privilege and pleasure to have you back on the couch, Pastor Dee Stepanowski.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be back.
Now, you came on, you spoke to Fred, I think it was about a month ago, and you really gave us an overview about street chaplains. And being the State Director, obviously you've got oversight of all the work that you do. For those that have missed out, can you just take us through what State Chaplains does?
Sure. Our street chaplains are out in the entertainment precincts looking after those who are vulnerable, and that may be through excess alcohol, drugs, or those experiencing homelessness or violence. So we walk the streets with backpacks that carry everything you can imagine, including water, vomit bags, thongs for the ladies, because when those shoes come off, you don't want to know what you can stand on out there. But we also carry very serious first aid and a defibrillator.
Yeah, and we do see on the news, obviously, there are certainly hotspots around the metropolitan space. How many locations do you have?
In Metropolitan, we cover Scarborough, Hillary's, Joondalup, Fremantle, Perth, Northbridge and Armidale.
Wow, okay. And over the course of a week, approximately, you mentioned an array of different presentations you will see, but would you say that you see X number of, like, would you have quite a number of people you have to help every single night just to get the audience to understand how important your service is?
Yes. So we begin at 11 p.m. in the police station, and sometimes we can walk 5 metres down the street where we're being called for help, and we receive calls from the CCTV, police, venue owners. We receive a lot of calls from the venue owners. And of course, even St John's will call us because we carry a defibrillator.
Yeah, goodness. And you work a lot, like you said, with the frontline responders. But what a lot of us, realise is places like Hillary's have water close by. There are so many issues also in Northbridge. A lot of us know to try go home before midnight. But between 1 and 2, you were telling me offline that, there's obviously a lot of Ubers and taxis and ambulances between 1 and 2 in the morning. And here you guys are doing things like having to do CPR to young people.
That's right. So James Street, Lake Street in Northbridge is like a car park. It's just backed up with traffic. And between 1 a.m. through to 4, 5, when the clubs are closing, it just gets busier by the hour. And so we love to be out there because everybody sees us. Our uniforms are kind of bright, and sometimes they're a bit confused going, hey, the Dockers, because of the purple. And they'll go, wait, no, you're the Eagles. And at the end of it, it's just a high five and say, hi, we're here to help.
Yeah, and I want to bring to everyone's attention that you're multi-denominational as well,
Correct.
which I think is so great, how you've been very inclusive with everyone that you engage with.
That's right. We come from a very wide variety of churches across WA, and so that's why the unity works.
Beautiful. Now, what in terms of, obviously there's a myriad of topics that you provide education and awareness on, but what do you think is important to talk about today? What do you think is impacting everyone out there the most at the moment?
So we are in September and Leavers is coming up for students in Year 12. And so we get to go into high schools, talk to Year 12 students about the reality of what they will see when they go to Northbridge or Scarborough or Bustleton for Leavers for the first time. And, we don't hold back, Nisha. We go in quite honestly and frank about what are some of the dangers that they will see, but also of where they can get help from.
Beautiful. And so that mental preparedness, gradual exposure is there? Yeah? Okay.
So last year during Leavers, we had students that actually came up to us and said, do you remember us? You came and spoke at our school. And that was great, that they felt comfortable to come and talk to us.
We never had that before I went on Leavers, so I think that's very helpful. Tell us a little bit about predatory behaviour as well, because I understand this is a huge issue.
This is a huge issue at the moment. And so we say to the students, and indeed to anybody watching, if you go out with a friend, go home with that friend. Because as soon as you are alone, there are predators out there and they look for young men or young women who have become separated from a group and they will target them.
Yeah, so you could literally be out at a restaurant or a bar and someone could be watching you from the moment you walk in to the moment that unfortunately they either spike your drink or something else takes place.
Correct.
Just putting it into that operational frame. And it's not just singles, you mentioned to me.
That's right. We had a couple in Fremantle, a lovely couple who were out on date night and both their drinks got spiked. They went outside because they were not well and they got robbed. Like
goodness me, that's
phones,
horrific.
wallets, everything.
Yeah, so just being mindful about your surroundings, your drinks, yes.
That's what we say to young people. It's, quite expensive to go out, but please watch your drink, watch the bartender pour it, take it. And if you need to go to the bathroom or outside for fresh air, ask your drink to watch your drink.
Yeah.
Sorry, ask your friend to watch your drink.
Good if the drinks could watch our drinks, but yeah, someone watching is important.
Nisha, can I just quickly interrupt?
Sure,
I don't normally interrupt Nisha, of course. But the people out there are saying, what's your background? How did Dee get that job? How can I get into that sort of role? What sort of people do you look for to become street chaplains?
Look, we just really look for people that have got a heart and a compassion to see young people get home safely.
So you don't need any medical skills, any strength, as in body strength? I mean, people who are overweight might be interested. Do they have to have a basic good health?
Well, as long as they can do their senior first aid, Fred, because we use senior first aid every single patrol.
Yep.
And so you need to be able to pass a senior first aid and carry a backpack because after 5 hours of walking, those backpacks get heavy.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but of course, we say to our chaplains, if you're tired, stop, take a break, and then people come and talk to you while you're sat there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Dee, what would you say your role is as the person in charge? What do you do? Do you still go out on the street and help like the rest of the staff?
I've got to be honest and say I'm out there probably more than any other chaplain because I see the rosters and I would prefer to go out myself a couple of times a week than not have a patrol going out.
Okay, well, I'll put in my application tonight. Thank you very much. Sorry, Nisha. Back to you.
It's good. I love having group chats. It's good. Yeah, look, I think everyone's a volunteer too, which is
That's
an
right.
important point, a passion point. So how do people get in touch with you if they'd like to volunteer
Yes,
their
we would
time?
love for people just to connect with us, whether it be on Facebook or our website. And so it is streetchaplain.com. So we have Facebook, Instagram and a website, streetchaplain.com.
Well, wonderful work, Dee. It was a pleasure to have you on the couch. You have
Thank
such
you,
a great
Nisha.
story in your career as well, and hopefully we'll get to share that next time. But Dee, very inspirational, and we'll look forward to maybe having you on again soon.
Thank you, Nisha. It's been such a delight to be here.
Wonderful. Now, if you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page as well. But it's back to you now, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. And don't forget, if you're out there and you're thinking Dee does a great job and so do the street chaplains, you can contact her if you want to donate, if you're a business or anyone that's got anything they want to donate, any supplies. Get in contact with Dee. She'll tell you what they need and what you can do. Even the volunteers, they do a great job. Christmas is coming up, remember, so they need more and more help and more finance. And they get very little from government, unfortunately, but they do a great job. We're going to take a break. Somebody that also does a great job is our very own Alexander Sacosta. And Belinda Cipriano is also back from Portugal to talk about the events that are making Perth after this on the couch. See you then. Welcome back to the couch. Nice to have your company today on a Sunday around Australia. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk entertainment now, and in the studio, in Centre Studio, is our very own Alexander Sacosta. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Fred. Happy to be here.
Now, you've got lots of stuff to talk about today. Leonardo DiCaprio's in the news again.
I know, shock horror. Leonardo DiCaprio actually broke up with his girlfriend, but this one almost made it past 25, Fred. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, it is good for
Yes, Camilla
Leonardo.
Moroni. Unfortunately, yes, she reached the age of 25. So as you know, he has a rule that after they turn 25, he just can't date them anymore. Very sad. 47-year-old man, Fred, can't seem to find love over the age of 25.
Oh, look, I reckon he'll find someone soon enough.
Well, I think we'll know if we gather around the Vatican and wait for the white smoke. It means he's selected a new girlfriend.
Now, what's the news about Batgirl? She's in Greece.
Batgirl, this film was actually completely filmed and they're not going to release it because DC has decided that they're restructuring their plan moving forward due to the failures of many of their films. Very upsetting because to have a film completely filmed and then to not get to release it, horrible for all the actors and all the creatives involved. They've just decided to shelve it completely. No one will get to see it. It's done. It's ready. But no.
And why again won't they release
Well,
it?
the logic behind it is that they've decided to restructure because they've seen how successful Marvel is with all of their films, and DC has really been struggling except for perhaps Wonder Woman and Aquaman. So now they're like, well, no, we're not going to release all these films because it's too confusing for audiences with the amount of kind of characters that are coming out.
Okay, so we won't hang on for the release. It's not
No.
happening. Olivia Wilde, what's happening with her?
So she was married to Jason Sudeikis, as we all know, and they did get divorced, but he's been very public with the way that he's treating her and kind of trying to create this narrative that she's quite a terrible mother. He had divorce papers and things served to her publicly while she was on a panel at one of those Comic-Con events. Horrible. And I think it's very interesting because it really kind of perpetuates that double standard that exists in Hollywood, that as the female, just because she's dating a 27-year-old in Harry Styles, former One Direction member, oh, well, she's a bad person. Look at her dating one of her cast members. I mean, it's completely contrasted to Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Double standards, eh? Hypocritical.
Double standards in Hollywood. And, yeah, the narrative is very much controlled by him as opposed to anyone hearing what she has to say about it.
Fantastic. Now, I believe Anna Paul is in the news. Now, she's the lady that came to Perth, folks.
Right.
And they had to shut down the whole event because it was creating a crowd problem. What is she up to with TokTik?
TikTok, Fred, you know what it's called. Stop pretending you don't know what it's called.
It's a Chinese spy app, which I'm hoping the government's going to get rid of.
How dare you speak ill of the Chinese Communist Party?
Well, join the club.
Yes, so she came to Perth, right, and did a kind of a launch with a brand here. Do you know how many people turned up?
Well, more than they wanted.
Thousands, Fred. Thousands of people turned up to the Perth City.
But can you tell me, what is it that appeals? Because when I said,
don't know.
why is she so famous?
I didn't even know who she was.
Nobody can tell me.
She's on TikTok. She talks. She's very pretty. End of list.
Is she a singer?
She's also on OnlyFans.
Does she sing?
Does anyone sing? No. Does Kim Kardashian sing? No.
Well,
It's
there you go.
insane, and it just goes to show that there's this entire area of media that exists far beyond common broadcast that has huge sway over Generation Z.
Okay.
So get on your TokTik, Fred, and you too could shut down the city of Perth.
Thank you. I'll give it a miss. I'm thinking I've just heard today the Australian government's looking into the TokTik and the owners and whether we're being spied on. So people just delete the app and go back to Instagram. Now, you've got some more news there about Lord of the Rings.
So this is interesting. I didn't realise, but another actor who's leading in that Amazon series, the series that cost $1 billion to make, the most expensive series ever made, releasing on Amazon Prime streaming services. He's actually from Fremantle, so he's a local, and his name is Tyrone Mohaffedin. How good's that? So he's actually a Perth local who is one of the lead roles in this film. So he's on the brink of superstardom.
Congratulations.
And a very stylish person as well, as you can see from his bold choices, wearing a white knitted balaclava.
Hey, Alexander, give us, before you go,
Yes.
can you give us an update on what's happening with Telethon? I've seen you on Instagram. You were at the Telethon Home. What was that
I was
all
at the
about?
Telethon Home. So the Telethon Home is available for viewing now. You can go there Monday and Wednesday, 2 to 5 p.m.
Where is
Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m. as
Where
well
is it?
by special
Can you tell us
appointment.
where it is?
It is in Medora Bay on the Satterley Seaside Estate. Stunning.
Yeah, and you've done a story for your show?
Yes, for Home in WA we spoke about it and
Yep.
we were there, and Rob Palmer did some segments as well, so look out for those.
And
on
Home in
Channel 7.
WA, give it a plug.
Home in WA, check it out. We will be back on after the football grand final season, back on Saturdays and Sundays.
And he's also on Telethon. You'll catch him at Telethon doing...
will.
Are you doing the music acts this year?
I'm in charge of the community stage, so I'll be emceeing the community
wow.
stage as well as helping out around the place.
Well
so if you
done.
call, you might speak to me on the phone.
There you go, Alexander Sacosta. Just call him Alexander. He's happy with that. Anything else?
That's everything, Fred. Exciting times ahead for all of us.
Good on you. Thank you very much, Alexander.
Thank you, Fred.
Now, if you want more information about Alexander, please go to his website. Of course, he does have one, alexandersacosta.com. There it is on screen right now. And you can contact him, whether you've got an acting role for him, an emceeing role, any sort of role. He's happy to look at anything, especially if it pays. Thank you very much, Alexander. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Fred.
Well done. Now, she's been away. She's been to Portugal and more. And she went to Frozen as well. And today she's in the studio. Belinda Cipriano, welcome home.
Thank you so much. It's been a while, hasn't it, Fred?
Now, yes, it has. Can you explain to me TokTik?
Toxic. Look, I'm like you. I think it's toxic.
Yes.
I'm not interested in
I
TikTok.
don't get it.
Look, Alex was talking about Anna Paul. I too had no idea who this
I'd never
young
heard
lady
of her.
was. Neither. And then I googled her.
Yeah. And what
I-
does she do that's
She
made
just
all the
talks
kids love
to the
her?
camera, and they say that, you know, she just talks normal.
Is it
and
because she gives
I don't know.
kids a feeling of wonder and dreamland and all that type of
I
thing?
don't know.
Well, it's exciting.
She's on OnlyFans. Is that a feeling of wonder? I
Yeah.
don't know, Fred.
There
It's
you go.
not for me.
Let's not bother.
Yeah.
We'll
yeah.
just delete it
Are you-
because it's more important to talk about. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 events today.
I said 6 this time because, you know, we always overtalk our segments. So I thought, oh, let's cut it down to 6 and let's get deep into them.
Well, let's talk about Lost and Found.
Yeah, so Lost and Found Festival is coming to the Geograph region. So Bunbury, Dardanup and the beautiful Ferguson Valley, which is one of my favourite places to visit in
What
WA.
can we expect to see there?
Okay, so there's food, wine, musicians, I believe artist exhibitions, all held over 4 days.
Wonderful.
You don't have to go to the entire festival. You can select events that you want to visit. Tickets start as low as $30. It does get super busy.
Yep.
So I would encourage you to book straight away. I do know that the wineries book out quite quickly. My top 3 are St Aidan's, Green Door and Talisman's. They're my favourite.
And that is the
Absolutely
Lost
love it.
and Found
Correct.
Festival happening in September. Please check that out. Now, what's happening in Kalamunda with the kids' annual charity event?
So it's Kathmandu Kids annual charity fundraiser, which is happening on September 20 at
Yep.
Mount Lawley Golf Club. Now, it is an annual fundraiser that they do, and they raise money to send 350 children to school in Nepal. It's a really good...
Now, we're talking Kathmandu also with the outfits? when
No,
people- nothing to do with it?
nothing to do
Just
with
the
them.
country?
So it's a Perth organisation that raise money for Kathmandu Kids, and it basically helps send 350 children from Nepal to school, get an
What a
education.
wonderful
It is a
achievement.
wonderful
Great
achievement.
charity event as well.
It certainly is a great charity event. Tickets are $80. There'll be endless wine by Sandalford Wines, food stations, and there'll be Jerry Fraser, who is the Oyster
the
King.
oyster
Yep, shucking
shucker.
oysters. Yeah, so
He's been sick for a while. I was talking to him the other night. He's coming back. He wants to get back to work. He's just amazing. If you haven't caught Jerry Fraser, you do yourself a favour.
he's
catch him when he
brilliant.
appears.
He's so good. He's so good at what he does. So you can get your tickets on the screen.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Books at the bar. Is this
Books at the
something
bar.
that you'll be attending?
It is something that I'll be attending. I will be facilitating this event. So it's books, bar, Beck, Bell and Bites. 5 things starting with B.
Easy.
So it's Rebecca Raisin. She is launching her latest book, Elodie's, let me get this right because I've done all of hers, Elodie's Library of Second Chances.
Wow.
So it's $9. It's held at Joondalup Resort on the same night as the Kathmandu Kids. And this is being held at Joondalup Resort, $9. It includes your bites. You can buy your book
Beautiful.
off Beck and she will sign it for you too, and we'll do a nice Q&A
So
as
many
well.
great events, hey, coming
There
up here
are,
in WA.
from
We're
north
very
to
lucky.
south. So I've said from the Geograph and now I've gone all the way
Wow.
up to, and now we're going to the Wheat Belt.
The York Festival is
Yes.
back again after all these years of COVID.
Yes.
What's happening with that one?
Okay, so the York Festival is coming during the school holidays, so from September 24 to October 9. Now, this is one of the best times to visit the Wheat Belt region. Canola fields are in full bloom at the moment, and of
Beautiful.
course all the wildflowers. So it is a beautiful time to visit. Now, there's lots of things happening there as well. So we've got Bogan Shakespeare, one that I think I'd quite enjoy, the Jazz Weekend, Dead Letter Club, and of course the book club with Ros Thomas. She's the award-winning journalist. Do you
Oh,
remember
wow.
Ros Thomas?
I do remember her from Channel 9.
No, was
Is
she?
it-
I
well,
thought she was
I
Channel.
thought she might be another channel.
Yeah, she might.
What
be.
channel do you reckon she was from?
She's on telly, and she was on in the West as well. So
Yeah,
let's not
I
forget
thought
that.
Ross Thomas was one of our very long.
Well, she might have been. She might have been back
look,
then.
I think she was one of the reporters. To be honest, her history was that she was one of the people that got hit by Alan Bond years ago when
Okay.
she interviewed him. I hope it's the same Ross Thomas. If not Ross, I'm very sorry. I think
Yeah,
it might
she's
be her.
award-winning. I believe she's an author to herself now. So yes, she is holding the book club down there as well.
Fantastic. Now, how you going, mate? Wog Boys is
I'll
back.
see you at Chasers on Chapel Street.
Yeah,
Yes.
love to be there.
Wog
You
Boys
get there first.
Wog Boys Forever is coming to Hoyt's Carousel. Now,
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of the Wog Boys. I
I'm
know
gonna
you.
go.
Yeah, are you
I
going to
love
go?
it. Love
So
it.
they've got an advanced screening there
Yep.
at Hoyt's Carousel, and Nick
Giannopoulos.
Steve Giannopoulos, the Wog Boy, is coming.
Now, he
So-
was always married to Effie, who is,
Yes,
I'm thinking of her name,
oh my
Ellie
goodness.
something or
Yes.
other. But I met them in a lift once.
Oh, did you?
I stayed in
Where,
a hotel
in Melbourne?
Sydney. No,
Oh,
Sydney.
Sydney.
I was in the Hotel New Hampshire in Sydney, in Woolloomooloo,
Yeah.
and the lift opened, and they were both in the lift.
And did you say Effie Goodthanks?
No, I just say, oh, hi. You know how you pretend that you don't know who they are because you don't want
How
them.
can you not?
And I also met Alan Bond in the lift on the same occasion, so
Yeah.
he wasn't as big then as he was
Fan.
before then.
Well, they're having an advanced screening, and Nick Giannopoulos is going to be there to do a Q&A, I believe.
Now, this is the movie. It's sort of like a sequel to a sequel.
Yes, it is.
The last one I saw was the Wogs. They were in Greece.
Yes.
And that was very funny. So
Very
you can
fun.
expect that the whole there it is there on the screen, but it's very funny.
Oh my God, I love
It's
it.
very easy to watch.
It is. It certainly is.
And I think it's not politically correct.
No.
But it gets away with it.
It's what we grew up on.
Yep, I
And of
think
course,
so.
this one has Frank, who is played by Vince Colosimo, and the guys from Sushi Mango, who
I saw that.
absolutely love. So I cannot wait to see this. Tickets are $34.50. The movie opens on October 6th, but this one is the advanced screening
And
on October
I know
4th.
we're running out of time, but I don't want to let it go.
Don't let it go.
Let it go.
Don't hold it back anymore. Why do we always do a sing-along? I love
don't know.
that. I
Why
love
do we
that.
always sing that song? Frozen, the
Frozen
musical.
the musical. So I was lucky enough to go to the opening night here in
Yep.
Perth last week, and I have to say I knew nothing about the movie, absolutely nothing. I walked in with zero expectation. I was blown away. It is the musical of the year.
Yeah.
If you see any musical here in Perth, see this
I've
one.
heard the stage, the set,
The special effects,
magics.
the cast, the music, it is
Yep.
incredible.
And it's not just for kids too,
No,
by
it's
the way.
not.
There it is on
Adults.
screen. We're seeing some
Oh
of it.
gosh, it's for the entire family.
Yep.
If you go and see anything, go see Frozen the musical. It was absolutely beautiful. I took my sister, and it is about two sisters,
Yep.
and we just had the most magical night. I tell you what. Go see it. Tickets start as low as $49.90.
That's
There's
great.
matinees
Affordable.
available. Take the children during school holidays. It's open until November 13, and do yourself a favour.
Well done. Lots of great events.
There
Please
are.
support them, and we will have a link on our website as well. Belinda Cipriano, welcome back.
Always a pleasure, Fred.
Now, if you want to get a hold of Belinda Cipriano, there's the website. BelindaCipriano.com is her website. Please get in touch with her if you wanted to MC
Yep.
or be part of it, or even if you want to send her an event that's coming up.
Absolutely, Fred.
Thank you for coming back to us.
It's
Did
my
you have
pleasure.
a good holiday?
I had a wonderful time, thank you.
Portugal, beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Got to see my family, got to see my friends, got to launch my book in Portuguese.
Couple
it was
of
wonderful.
wines?
Oh, a couple of vinos,
And a couple more.
absolutely.
Well done. Good
Thanks,
to see you. Thanks, Alexander. Thanks to Belinda. We'll take a break. We're talking law next in employment with Joe and Nisha. See you then. Welcome back to The Couch. As part of the new modern world we live in, enterprise agreements and probationary periods go hand in hand. People get contracts for their jobs, and we want to give you a little bit more detail today. So Nisha's got our very own employment lawyer, Joe, with her. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Fred. And yes, probation is a really interesting area and one that's I think we need to demystify a little bit. Welcome back to the show, Joe.
Thanks, Nisha.
Now, is it true, first demystifying question, that employers can terminate you just straight off the bat in your probationary period?
Unfortunately, some employers think they can do that, but that is absolutely not the case. So the employees will be pleased to know that they do have protections, and in fact, all of their legal protections start from the time that they're employed. So once you're an employee, you're protected in that, other than one thing. So there is this area.
Okay, the one thing.
The one thing, and that's a qualifying period, and that's in respect of unfair dismissal claims.
Right.
So there is employers, let's put it that way, are protected from employees bringing unfair dismissal claims if the employee hasn't completed a qualifying period.
Okay, so it's qualifying is a very important word here.
Yes, absolutely. So it's either a 6-month period or a 12-month period, depending on how big the business is. So if you're a small business, which is with less than 15 employees, then you're a small business. And so those employees have to wait 12 months before they're protected from unfair dismissal. But everybody else, it's 6 months. So in that time, no unfair dismissal claims.
Interesting. Okay, and the word adverse action, or words rather, are still possible in this period?
Absolutely. So all of the other types of legal claims, underpayments, claims for adverse action where you've discriminated against them, or perhaps the employee has been making complaints and you've decided that you're not happy with them anymore, so you terminate their employment, those sorts of things can still lead to legal action.
Yeah. And I guess they're the human factors which you and I have talked about off camera as well that are so important when you recruit someone and making the decision about taking them on.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about probation periods, you know, whilst they might not provide a legal protection, they are still really beneficial.
Okay, so if you do have a probationary period, 'cause I'm sure there's a lot of employers out there thinking, how do I make it most effective for me?
Yes, and that's the point. It still is important to have because it sets everyone up to understand that when they start employment, this is a trial period, you know. We're working out if you fit with us and you're working out if you vice versa.
Yeah.
So we've got to make sure that we really use it effectively. And so the first thing that you need to do is decide how long it will be. Commonly that's like 3 to 6 months. And then otherwise you would look at making sure you know what you're going to be assessing, some KPIs around the work that they need to do, make sure you're regularly checking in with them. And then just sort of make a conscious decision when you get to that. You know, we've heard it said, you know, you were sharing earlier, and I think Fred was sharing earlier, that sometimes we have these probationary periods in our contracts and then nobody does anything about them.
Yes, and if you don't fulfil your obligations as an employer, it's a bit hard to know you're doing something wrong, right, if no one tells you?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to look at, you know, all right, I've got a 3-month probation period. It's coming up. What do I want to do? Do I want this employee to stay on? If from the employee's perspective, do I still want to be here? And make a really conscious decision about whether or not this is the right job.
Yeah. Now, is there anything in terms of, and I'm just thinking in my mind around record keeping and whatnot, any kind of preparatory steps that employers can take to make sure that, you know, when they do get to the end of the 6 months or the 12 months, they are ready to have that conversation?
Yeah.
And it's fair?
Yeah, and that's why I suggest the check-ins, so that we employ someone, say it's the 1st of January and we've got a 6-month probation period. We would sort of say, let's have a check-in at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And then at the 5th month mark, that's when we're deciding, do we really want this person or not? And we're making a conscious decision. And if you've got a 6-month qualifying period in respect to that employee, you've got some protection from unfair dismissal, then you really need to make sure you do any termination prior to that 6 months.
So, Jo, you get a lot of clients, obviously employers, and maybe employees as well, that will come and ask you various questions. Is this I'm assuming this is quite a hot topic area?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem is when I get the employers that sort of arrive and they say, I've got this claim, but I had a probationary period, so I'll be fine, right? And I say, unfortunately, that might not be the case, which is always disappointing and often news to them.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, the other thing is, are there any other steps or any other considerations within an employment contract that need to be looked at to help employers around probation? Is there another clause perhaps?
One of the things that, so you can have as simple a statement as you are employed on a probationary period of, say, 6 months. But then you can add things to it. So you could say what the amount of notice that you need to give during that probation clause is, and you might also want to deal with extending that probation clause. Yes. So some organisations will just have a 3-month period, and then they'll sort of say, oh, you know, we're not actually sure whether this person's right for us, so let's move to extend it. So if you haven't actually got a clause in the contract that allows you to extend, then you actually need the employee to agree to extend it. You can't just say, we're extending this. But, you know, in most cases, an employee is going to accept the proposal to extend the probation period if the alternative is terminating their employment.
Yeah. Look, I think that clarity that you're providing us with is so important, and you've definitely demystified many elements to do with probation. Thank you very much. Very helpful as usual.
You're very welcome. A pleasure.
So where do we find out more if the audience have more questions for you, Jo?
You can find us, me and my team, at 3dhrlegal.com.au.
Wonderful. Well, Jo, we'll look forward to having you back on the show again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, if you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page as well and contact Jo. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much, Nisha, and thank you, Jo, as well. Jo, would I be right in thinking if you don't have a review in that 6 months when your probation period is, it could be a good defence for you if they try and sack you 5 years down the track?
Not necessarily, but if you're focused on that unfair dismissal claim. Okay. So it depends on the type of claim, yeah.
And what sort of stuff can you do for people? Because people are saying, she's pretty good, she's knowledgeable. What sort of work do you work with every day?
I love particularly working with employers who are wanting to get those base conditions right at the beginning. So really understanding what the obligations that they have are, and, you know, putting in place a really clear probation period and understanding the contract terms.
Are you looking forward to some changes after the Job Summit? They're talking a lot about contracts and employment, collective bargaining, all that type of stuff. It's going to can of worms for you.
It's going to be very interesting. I love it when there's a change of government.
Well done. Thank you very much, Jo. Thank you to Nisha as well. SpongeBob, the musical, is coming to Perth. The cast, some of them, are here today, centre stage, to perform a fantastic song for us. Let's go to them now, centre stage, and then after the break, we will talk to the producer and also the director and one of the key people who is actually SpongeBob himself after this. Let's go to them.
Mr. Sun came up and he smiled at me. Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see. Jump out of bed and I ran outside, feeling so extra ecstatisfied. It's the best day ever. The best day ever. I'm so lucky we got nothing to do. Spend the past 2 hours just tying my shoe. Every flower, every grain of sand is reaching out to shake my hand. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. Sometimes the little things start closing in on me, but when I'm feeling down, I can lose that frown. I stick my head out the window and I look around. These clouds don't scare me, they can't disguise this magic that's happening right before my eyes. Soon, Mr. Moon will be shining bright, so the best day ever can last all night. Yeah, the best day ever's gonna last all night now. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. Always nice to have local theatre on the show. These people have worked incredibly hard to save their musical. It is called SpongeBob the Musical. With us is the director or co-director, Jane. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Fred. Thank
And
you for having us.
SpongeBob himself.
Yes.
Josh.
Thank you. Yes, thanks for having us.
Well done, guys. Can I just say to you, Jane, first, we didn't know if the musical was going to go ahead. It is going ahead.
It definitely is. We were very lucky. We had some problems with funding, so we had a GoFundMe page and we raised enough money to continue our show, so definitely going ahead.
When is it going to be?
It's going to be from the 27th to the 30th of October, and we've got 7:30 performances in the evenings and 2 p.m. matinees on
So
the...
2 shows a day? The matinee at 2?
Matinees on the Saturday and
on
Sunday.
the Saturday. Beautiful,
Yeah.
on the weekend. Now, Josh, tell me a little bit about the musical itself and then tell me about your role.
Sure. So the musical, first I'll start with the music itself. The music, for the most part, is completely original. They composed and wrote all of the music with a bunch of different artists, such as John Legend, They Will Be Giants, Plain White T's, a bunch of big names, Lady Antebellum, to bring this show together from the cartoon that obviously it originated from. So it was debuted on Broadway with Ethan Slater as SpongeBob, who is the role that I'm now had the absolute joy to
Did you get
portray.
to choose your role? Did you have to kill anyone to get the role? Or...
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on TV. No.
Look, they'd have to prove it.
That's true, they do.
And we can just say it was alleged.
There we go. Yeah, there's an audition process. So there's a bunch of people who auditioned. I was part of the select few who got to go through.
So who selects, Jane? Who selected all the key roles? Yourself and David?
Yeah, myself and David, our choreographer Gillian Binks, and our musical directors. We've got Sean and Maddie, who are our musical directors, and so we were
You've
all
got a
there.
great team, eh?
Panel of 5, so it was a bit daunting for our
It must be.
auditionees.
There's so many talented people here in WA wanting to work in theatre, wanting to be in this great musical. I would say this is the first time that SpongeBob the Musical has ever been in Perth.
In Australia.
In Australia, so we're pretty exclusive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, it has been done once before
It was
in
done
Perth.
once, yes, Fabulous by,
But it
Art
wasn't
Emotion.
very good. Nobody remembers.
Oh no, it was actually quite good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
No.
But it was not done on a big scale in a big
It
professional
wasn't as
theatre.
professional as it is now with all these great talented people.
Yeah.
But hey, good work those other people. This is going to knock your socks off.
Yeah.
We want people to turn up because it's really important. We can fit 5,000 people into the Regal Theatre.
Yes.
In Subiaco. Plenty of parking as well. Great place to have a meal. If
Yep.
you're looking for a night out, maybe even just a date date night, or maybe just to get away because you've been stressed with COVID, you need a holiday. There's no other reason. You just go and watch SpongeBob the Musical,
Yes.
27th to the 30th.
Yep.
So only 3 days. You haven't got much time. Tickets, do we know how much they cost?
They cost between $40 up to about $69.95.
Is that all? We
Yes,
should have
they're
spoken to
quite
you. We
cheap.
could have put them up a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're very
Yeah.
cheap, very affordable.
Very
and that's
affordable.
really important
Yeah.
as well with theatre these days,
Yeah.
that people can go and watch theatre and afford it, especially going to take the kids. Now, would you say it's suitable for all ages, or would you say there's an age group?
100% suitable for all ages. It's like any good cartoon. It works on multiple levels. So on the surface, there's big, bright, colourful numbers, lots of dancing and singing, some really funny moments and quite slapstick moments as well. And then underneath, there's this story of xenophobia and global warming, and it touches on a lot of
You're
different
touching on reality,
sort of
life
real
today.
themes that, yes, are really relevant for today.
Do you like the storyline, Josh?
I do. I love it. It's a very, very wholesome, very wonderful storyline about the main characters. You got SpongeBob, Sandy, and Patrick, who are going on this big quest to try and save their town, which is under siege by a volcano. And the whole kind of musical explores this idea of camaraderie and togetherness and everything.
So how many songs would we get to see roughly in the musical itself?
There are 20 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 to
That's a
30
big
songs.
musical.
Yeah.
So people can sing along with them? Maybe get up and
They
do the
probably
dancing?
won't know them. There's probably only a couple of songs that they might know if they're familiar with the SpongeBob movie.
So I won't be able to sing?
No. Oh, at the end you
If
will.
you stick around to the
Absolutely.
very end, yes.
Maybe
there's
someone
a
can
sing along at the end. Yeah.
No, look, it sounds fantastic. You're doing a great job. How many people, just to give us a picture, how many people work on this production? How many will be working on it?
Okay, we've got 30 in the cast. We have a production team of about 20 people, and then we have many, many more who are starting to come on now. Stage manager, backstage crew, the orchestra is coming on. There's a 17-piece orchestra. So
It's a big
it's
production.
a lot of people. I reckon probably around 50 people.
You've got to support local theatre, and those people who love SpongeBob, take the kids. You know, they're going to love it. Take yourself. Just go and have a good time.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap it up? I know we've got a couple of minutes to go. Have we left anything out? Do we want to promote any of your fantastic crew? Do we need to thank anybody?
Well, I'd really like to thank everybody who has donated to keep the show alive. And then I'd really like to thank all our cast and crew for, after such a horrible news of having our show cancelled, to be able to pull our socks back up and just get back on with it, you know, because it was quite hard to sort of start the ball rolling again after we'd had about a week or two off.
You did very
Yeah.
well in the couple of weeks that you had to raise the money that you
Yeah.
had to. So well done. It
Yeah.
means you've got a lot of support out there. Josh, I heard you sing earlier on in the last segment. You actually sang Best Day of My Life. Can you sing anything else for us just before we go today? Just a snippet of a bit of a song?
We can probably do the theme song.
Can you do that for me?
Absolutely. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob SquarePants. There you go.
Oh, I knew that song. I'll be singing that on the night.
That is the one very end.
So that's the theme, is it?
Yeah.
So is it pretty much like the real SpongeBob cartoon? Is there a lot? Obviously, there's a lot of elements that are in the musical.
They've done a lot of fan service. You've got the iconic, you know, the big tiki house of Squidward, the pineapple for SpongeBob, and the rock for Patrick. There is a lot of references to the original, you know, the source material, the cartoon.
The cartoon. Sounds fantastic. Again, 27 to the 30th, Regal Theatre in Perth. Do you want to give us the website once again, please, Jane?
Yes. It's premiertickets.com.au.
There it is,
And
there.
so just search for SpongeBob and you'll be able to find us. It'll pop up straight away. So premier.ticketek.com.au.
Look, it's been wonderful having you both here. I can't wait to see the musical. You've only got 3 days. The matinees are on the weekend, so you've got Friday show at 7 o'clock, then Saturday and Sunday, I'm assuming. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got a matinee on the Saturday at 2 p.m. and then a Sunday matinee as well.
What a wonderful day to go to the theatre. I think it's going to be great. A lot of fun. If you're looking for something new, please support them. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you so much, Fred.
All the best with SpongeBob the Musical, and let's
Thank
hope
you.
it gets an extended season as well for all the cast. That is it for the show today. That is our local promotion for our local theatre. We love to do that here on The Couch. Now, talking about local, this young lady, Kristen Platty, has left the studio and come back because she's got a brand new song. We are exclusively having it here on the couch. It's called Take Your Love. It comes out at the end of September, so you won't hear it anywhere else. But later, at the end of September, you can buy this off Spotify. Thanks to all the crew. Thanks to everybody who worked so hard on the show today. We'll leave you with Kristen Platty. Take Your Love, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
So I know I'm kind of into you, and I've got your face in my head, but I find it hard to talk to you. How do I tell you I'm falling? I think you already know that, but I feel I'm falling. So how did you know that? So maybe tonight, could you take your love out on me? Tell me how it feels in the morning. Could you take your love out on me? Oh, baby, if it feels right, would you lay it all down on me? Oh, I will never leave you lonely. Could you take your love out on me? And I know I'm kinda new to you, but I've caught you catching my eye. If you look my way just one more time, maybe you'll find yourself falling. I think I wanna know you, so come on, get falling. I'm ready to know you. So maybe tonight, could you take your love out on me? Tell me how it feels in the morning. Could you take your love out on me? Oh, baby, if it feels right, would you lay it all down on me? Oh, I will never leave you lonely. Could you take your love out on me? And maybe we find ourselves falling. Maybe we stay in this moment. Maybe it's all that we wanted. I think we already know that. So maybe tonight, could you take your love out on me? Tell me how it feels in the morning. Would you take your love out on me? Baby, if it feels right, would you lay it all down on me? 'Cause I will never leave you lonely. Take your love out on me. Oh, oh, out on me. Could you take your love out on me? 'Cause I will never leave you lonely. Take your love out on me.
On the couch with us, da-da-da, da-da-da-da. On the couch with us.